You're listening to WeP3 Radio on the Foxhole Radio Network. Currently playing Ryan Weaver, In the Dark.
Just begun to search for all your answers. Well, the truth is found deep within. You must open your heart and to begin to see that there's a different side than what you're used to.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Dockers, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We are We the People, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Hello there, this is Andrea Eichmann. Was that just me, or did we all experience that? All right, well, here we go. That's Peterson with his happy noise in the background. This is Andrea Eichmann here with the People's Patriot Project. We are here bringing you our weekly show called We Got Your 6 at 6. Every week, we bring you a guest, and a lot of times we bring in an artist, a new artist. We share all the good and sometimes not so good things happening in our world. This week, our guest is Charlie Hines. Kimmer brought Charlie to us. He's got his own studio. He did record Kimmer's poem and put it into a song. We will be hearing that later tonight. He's very talented. He's an Army brat. He's currently living in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he works with veterans through the Cincinnati VA Courage Group. So we're going to hear more about what he does with them. Tonight, our episode is featured by our sponsors. We have Catch 22, Derek Iozio, Operation Texas Strong, Bobby and Peggy Krutzinger. We have got the Boho Hobos Hideaway with Lauren Iozio, who, by the way, will be on next weekend, and our very own Kim Gwinner. Kimmer will be sharing a little bit tonight as well. We've got Brian Kenzer. He's with us. He supports WeP3 with his business, Smart Living Today. This is about American-made products and a stream to help support the People's Patriot Project while you are shopping. Come support us, and we'll show you a way to support your health. You'll be locked in with an American manufacturer, giving them American jobs, and helping the People's Patriot Project all in one simple decision. We have a link. We'll be checking in with Brian as we go throughout the night as well. The People's Patriot Project, We Got Your 6 at 6, can also be heard on Reads Across America Radio. We are on Sundays at 11 p.m. Central Time. All you got to do is search Reads Across America, or go to iHeartRadio app, Reads Across America Radio, or go to the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, or the Tuned In app, and just search the word Reads. It will come up. And we have a handy dandy link as well that we will put out there for you. In case you miss an episode, you can catch it the next week. It's always 1 week behind. That's perfect, right? Thanks a lot to our sponsors, our guests, and our viewers, and our visitors. And before we start this week's show, we are going to ask that you take off your hats, stand if you can, cover your heart, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boom!
Ooh.
Bam, 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 bam. Way to go, Kimmer. You're leading this bad boy, getting it done, making it happen. Things are going. I don't know what's going on, man. Life's good. Life's good. Hey, we are here. It is Sunday. What?
Huh?
What?
Were you sleeping? Sorry.
I don't
What?
know
You're
what.
rusty.
It is August 18th, and we are here with the People's Patriot Project, and we got your 6 at 6. You can see it everywhere. Kimmer's showing up 10 fingers. I'm not sure why. Why 10 fingers,
It was your
Kimmer?
fireworks.
Because it was better than a 2.
Oh, nice. I like it. I like it. We are here. We're doing it. We got Terry Daniels out there. Love you, brother. Thank you for being here. We got Dylan Petrie. He's here doing his thing, raising awareness down in Louisiana. And Bourbon Battle Buddies always. He's in the house with Jonathan Crochet. Don't know why they're always throwing those crazy EUAXs on the back of things, but it does working. It does working. We got Gary Hines. Gary, where you been, brother? We miss you, man. Down in Texas, always doing his thing. Brian Kenzer, Andrew talked about him earlier. Good to have you here, brother. They're rattling in, rattling off, and getting it done. We appreciate everyone that comes, supports, helps, shares, likes, and tells people the story about the mission of the People's Patriot Project, because here's the deal. Without all of you, we don't get done what we get done, and that's the truth. So we appreciate all of you. We have an amazing guest tonight, Charlie Hines, who not only has experienced the world of the military lifestyle, but is also in the world of music, which, as many of you probably know, something that we've found a fascination with the People's Patriot Project and WeP3 Radio and Operation Cadence. That's kind of in the background, and Pop Smoke Entertainment and all the pieces that we do with helping veterans and first responders that like. Is there anyone out there that likes music? I think everyone likes music in some shape or form. It is a food. It's like eating barbecue ribs. It is something all of us puts into our system daily. And so that is why we want you to experience the men and women who have not only served, but also continue the mission in the lifestyle of putting their music, their lyric to music, their life to music, their experiences to music. So, Jonathan, share with us what's going on in the news, brother.
All right. Tonight is very brief, and that's the news. No, there's more than that. August is National Wellness Month. The idea is to remind people to prioritize self-care, manage stress levels, and promote happy and healthy routines. Find some wholesome routines that you can do on a regular basis. They give you some sort of peace and happiness and a sense of accomplishment. Make yourself a priority. Treat yourself like you would treat the people that you love. Today, not today, but August 18th, way back in 1920, was the day that the 19th Amendment to the Constitution was ratified. And this amendment would finally grant women the right to vote. August 20th in 1833, the 23rd President of the United States was born, Benjamin Harrison, and he was the grandson of the 9th President of the United States, which was William Henry Harrison. Move forward, August 21st, back in 1959, President Eisenhower would sign a proclamation that would admit Hawaii into the Union as the 50th state of the United States and the last state admitted into the Union as part of the United States. And that, for real this time, is the news.
I got some serious questions in regards to the news, Jonathan, and I expect you to know all the answers for the record. First of all, first question.
I don't know.
What exactly is a wholesome routine, and is that required to do a wholesome routine to live a better life?
A wholesome routine would be, I mean, that's sort of personal dependent, right? You decide what's wholesome. Something that feeds your soul, I would say, is wholesome. Something that feeds more than one singular portion of your body. That would be a wholesome routine. There
might be some things I do that might not be considered wholesome to the rest of the world, but I'm just trying to figure that piece out. It's definitely a routine, but wholesome, questionable. I mean, I'm just saying. My next question is, you talked about this thing that allowed women to vote, which is a good thing. I mean,
the 19th Amendment.
Do you know where that started?
I did not get that far into it. I apologize. No, I do not.
Let me help you with this, brother. Let me help you with this. There's a little state in our union called Wyoming, and they were the first state to allow women to vote, just so you know.
Before it was federally?
Oh yes. Yes.
Little lawbreakers, huh?
Wyoming led the charge. Boom. Just saying. All right. That's why Wyoming's the greatest state in America, because it allowed women the right to vote. There's truth.
I thought you were going to say marriage. Somebody got married and their wife said we should be able to vote, and he was like, yes, ma'am. You should.
Truth. Truth. That's the way it works. Hey, let's get serious for a moment. We got this cool cat, Charlie Hines, in the house. Charlie, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Well, thanks for having me on. First of all, thanks for the invite. I'm in Cincinnati. I am a worship pastor for a church, but outside of that, I've been making my living as a private music instructor and owner operator of the studio here for the past 20 years. Before that, I was in corporate business, and I'm an Army brat. Grew up all over the place. Finished high school in Stuttgart, Germany, and been in Cincinnati now for 22 years, and it's the longest I've ever lived anywhere in my life. So I call it home. Seems as good a place as any.
That is crazy. That's funny how you say that because I call Wyoming home, and I've actually lived in Minnesota longer than I had in Wyoming, but
Yeah.
I don't think I can give it up. I can't give it up. That's the way it works. But yeah, awesome. So you live the life. You call yourself a military / AKA an Army brat, the best branch brat. Um, tell us what that experience was like for you.
Well, I mean, it was interesting because in my, growing up, there were 7 kids in our family, but they were in a batch of 3 and then a batch of 4. So the life that I remember with my father serving was very, very different than the life that my younger sister and my younger 3 brothers remember. When I was young, my dad was my football wide receivers coach for my little league team. He was, a captain. He commanded the 519th Military Police Battalion. And by the time he reached the rank of Major General, my younger siblings only knew armored cars, drivers, guards, stuff like that. And so I had the luxury of kind of being their big brother when my dad's career got really, really busy. I absolutely loved it. Living all over the place. We lived in, Fort Benning, Georgia. We lived in Fort McClellan, Anniston, Alabama. We lived in Stuttgart, Germany. Went to school at Patch Barracks. So, growing up Catholic and then going to a military high school is pretty much the same thing. Those things transfer over pretty easy. So I appreciated the discipline. I appreciated living abroad was probably the biggest wake up call. And actually not just visiting, but living abroad was a big wake up call for how the United States is perceived. But also it really did give me an appreciation for what we have here and protecting it. I really respect the men and women in uniform of all branches and reserves, all that stuff. But it's just something that I've grown to really appreciate. So for me, being involved in the MST program, which is military sexual trauma with the Cincy VA, was kind of like this image that I had of the military. It just kind of was shattered, and I had to learn to still love the military and those serving, but also realize that there was a lot of stuff that was broken. And after getting involved with the MST program, someone sent me a paper that my father wrote, and it was about rank and leadership and making sure people understood how they were perceived and how easily that could be manipulated. So it was very eye-opening.
I love your approach and your narrative. It is exciting to hear. You fit into the piece of those that didn't sign up for the mission, which are the family members that really held. You're the glue that holds our men of service, our women of service together. You didn't sign up for the mission, and at the time, and again, you've experienced the ugly of the ugliest in the military experience, working with military sexual trauma, and those pieces. Which, my experiences in remembering back and watching how part of our service members couldn't handle the pieces of having men and women in service and not knowing what boundaries are is a very frustrating piece. And it's a piece that I didn't realize held as much impact as it did. And you've been working directly in those spaces, so you get to see even an uglier side of it because you get to hear the aftermath. Because sadly and unfortunately, in the world of military sexual trauma, it's the victims that are speaking out at some point. It's not the criminal activity of those that have engaged in it. It's the ones that are the victims that have to find the strength to step up. Do you want to share any part of that experience as far as where you stand on it? Or, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very worked up and fired up on this piece. And it's a piece that plagues our entire society, with America being one of the number one consumers of child trafficking for sexual purposes. And we're stuck here and now dealing in our military ranks with military sexual trauma. Do you want to speak to any of those pieces?
Yeah, I think my experience with the MST program was initially, as a musician, I get to write a song. That's awesome. And then the first song I wrote was a gentleman who experienced racism, violent racism, on his way to Vietnam in the Navy. And he was explaining to me how he was basically fighting two wars, and one had started before he ever, arrived on land. And that hit me. So I wrote a song called Two Wars. And I, listening to him tell that story and realizing, I think the part that hits me the most is the age of the veterans that I've worked with. They've carried that weight and that burden for decades and decades and generations. And to hear that and realize, man, if all I have to do is do what I love to do, which is hear someone's story, put it to rhythm, put it to rhyme and music, and help them get closure, man, what if that's the only reason I write music? It's worth it.
When did you figure out the skill set about music?
Well, I was playing soccer. I was probably 14, 13, and my mom was watching me play, and I started limping. And so she said, hey, we need to take you to the doctor. I said, let me finish the game, not knowing that would be the last soccer game I'd play for several years. I went to the doctor, and they said that I had disintegrated my hip. And so I withdrew from school, enrolled in a public school, got a tutor, and my neighbor came to the hospital and started teaching me how to play guitar. And that's really all I could do. I had dreams of being in the World Cup. That wasn't going to happen. Probably wasn't going to happen anyways. But learning how to play guitar and then being on crutches for 2 years and a cane for a year, that's all I had. And I wanted to be a drummer. So in the room behind me, this side, that's the drum kit. I'm still teaching myself how to play. But I just fell in love with the guitar, and then I fell in love with songwriting because it was kind of like therapy. It was a way to basically journal musically. And so as I did that, I got better and better at it, and I kind of became a student of really good songs. Had some really good friends that wrote really great songs, and they would share their insight with me, not knowing that I would use it in a way to help vets. But it was basically by accident. And I say that because nothing's probably by accident. When as a pastor, I believe that God, no matter how bad it gets, God can still speak into that, or can still provide a way to use what has happened to bring good. So for me, I look at it as, honestly, I was probably going to only play soccer for another maybe 8 years if I played in college. But the gift of music has allowed me to support my family for the last 2 decades.
So you said music was your therapy. looking back, what did you need therapy for?
Well, I think just having your dreams, crushed. When you're 14, you don't really know how hard life can get. But since then, becoming a songwriter, I've written. I sent Jonathan a couple of them. I wrote a song for my dad's retirement, and it's the Lee Greenwood song "Proud to Be an American." His retirement video montage was the first time Lee Greenwood signed a waiver to allow his song to be used in a video. Was for my dad's retirement. So then years later, when my dad passed away, I rewrote some of those lyrics and recorded it. And then my daughter, Abby, she suffers from alopecia, which is an autoimmune disorder that causes her to lose all her hair. And so I documented that with video and photos. And then I wrote a song for her. And I share that, at the end of August, heading into September, because September is Alopecia Awareness Month. So it just became a thing that I did. And I guess the therapy was being able to bring healing to somebody else through something that I love to do anyways. So it seemed like a no-brainer for me.
Absolutely outstanding. I mean, it's exciting. And I don't know what people really figure out at what age, at what given time, but the fact that you needed a space and time and a gift or talent to create that therapy for yourself, but then looking at what you're doing in the world with that amazing gift and talent, we've witnessed and seen and heard some of that talent based on the story of our amazing Miss Kim Gwinner, with the Wiz, shall we say, in her story, and it's Charlie. I didn't really know who you were or what you were or how, and just in our pre-show experience, I'm just like, you are that diamond in the rough. You are on a mission. You are serving the community. You are serving our country. And again, your family holds a legacy of serving the country as well. It's exciting to have you here, and we thank you.
My pleasure.
I think we need to get some tunage on here. And I wonder if we should lead it with Kimmer's sharing part of her story and how she came to know Charlie. And you willing to do that, Kimmer?
Sure. I
Let her roll.
was in the MST program at the Cincinnati VA. And Nicole, the therapist, says we have some songwriters, local songwriters, that will listen to your story and try to share that through music. And I was intrigued. I was like, okay, I like music. No, I don't know any of the people providing the music or the songwriting, but yeah, I was tempted, and Charlie and I talked through emails and a couple texts and a couple phone calls, and I couldn't believe that a male was going to do my song. It just didn't seem like it was possible. One, he's not a woman. Two, he would never get what I went through. He couldn't possibly. There's no way I could describe it. But Charlie worked with it, and we talked, and he finally came up with the song, and it blew me away. I mean, he nailed it, for lack of better wordage. But yeah, I love my song that Charlie wrote and did for me. I've heard other songs that he's done for other vets in the program, and I don't know how, but he gets it.
I love it. I love it.
It's amazing.
Well, and so, I mean, I'm going to skip because I want to get to this amazing song. Others have had the privilege to hear it. Others have had the privilege to showcase it. We're finally getting the opportunity to that. I also want to, and I'm going to be gentle about this, but I mean, this comes as a public reprimand. We've been missing you for a couple of weeks, Gwinner, and you're not allowed to do that. You got to be here every weekend, just so you know. That's the job.
I'll stay after school.
Oh gosh, we missed you. We ready to roll it, Jonathan? Miss Kimmer, why don't you intro your song for us, please?
This is Something to Say by Charlie Hines that deals with my life in different stages. This is Something to Say. Thank you, Charlie.
What did I do wrong? Is it even my fault this time? 'Cause I'm out on the street again. I still feel the scars from the extension cords and the hand around my choking voice. I wanna be free of this. Traumatized by every side, I saw the world through broken eyes. My mother took her own life one night during Christmas time. Can't say I didn't try to plan the same. Oh, the years have tried to take my voice away, but somehow I found a way to survive. Traumatized by every side, I saw the world through broken eyes. 'Cause I was no one needing someone who could meet me right where I am. I was scared and always lonely. Would this bottle be my only friend? Wasted years and painful days, but I still have so much to say. If I could save the innocent, try to be like Angie Dickerson and lock all the bad guys away. Maybe that could be my saving grace that frees me from this painful place. But those thoughts never called me home to stay. Traumatized by every side, I saw the world through broken eyes. 'Cause I was no one needing someone who could meet me right where I am. I was scared and always lonely. Would this bottle be my only friend? Wasted years and painful days, but I still have so much to say. I went through hell and took those I loved with me. And for my silence, I hope one day I'll be guilt-free. I survived my own set of wars and found the strength to get up again, to get up again. 'Cause I was no one needing someone who could meet me right where I am. I was scared and always lonely. Would this bottle be my only friend? Wasted years and painful days, but I still have so much to say. I was no one needing someone. They met me right here where I am. I was scared and always lonely, but that bottle's just a distant friend. No more wasted years, still some painful days, but I still have so much to say. Don't even try to get in my way. I've got so much I still need to say.
It's beautiful.
That is. That is something to say by Charlie Hines, the story of Kim Gwinner. And here's the deal. You dirty, rotten scumbags of the world, righteousness will prevail regardless. Period. That's the way it works. Sorry, you lose, we win. You might have taken a piece of our friend, but you lose. You lose in the end. Thank you, Charlie Hines. My goodness. Yikes. Andrew, what'd you have going on during that song, man? It's
Me?
no Andrea. You guys. I'm sorry, Charlie. You don't get to see the master copy of this. She had her dog in her lap, and it's not a Chihuahua. It's
Nope.
I don't know.
He needed a little attention, I believe. It was all good.
We all need a little attention, Andrea.
All good.
All need a little attention.
Came in for the big hug.
Kimmer, tell me what goes to your mind when you hear the song.
Oh, when I first heard it, the first 100 times I heard it, back to back to back, it was unreal. Because like I said, I couldn't even imagine Charlie coming close to getting anything that I was telling him. And I think he read all 3 of my books, and I mean, he came up with stuff. I mean, this is all his work. You know, I may have gave him a few stories, you know, little tidbits about what was going on, but yeah, I mean, it still gets to me. You know, at times I want to cry. At times I want to just hug my pillow. It's good. It's good.
Have you had a chance to share with Charlie any of these thoughts before?
Oh, no.
Charlie,
Yeah.
you've done the work. The final product's out there. What are your thoughts on when you hear your craft?
Well, I've never seen it put to video. And so that was like going home for me because my family's in Houston. So I've been to San Antonio. I've been to the Alamo. I've taken my kids on a tour of the Alamo. Some of the shots of the Vietnam Memorial. I went to school at Howard University and lived at Fort Belvoir. I was born at Fort Belvoir. So when the lights turn on the monuments at night, I would just get in the car and drive, park right alongside the Vietnam Memorial Wall and walk those. And that was back when the statue was there, but it wasn't roped off. You could just stand there in the dirt and stare at it. And so it was like going home. I missed DC watching some of those shots. But I think the one thing, as far as the title of the song, you know, I kind of got Kimmer's email and read through it, and it takes a moment to kind of digest what, like, this is a real live person. This isn't movie. This isn't story. This isn't poem. And so somebody has lived this, and then you've got to kind of take that story. But while I'm trying to figure out what to do with the song, she writes a book, sends it to me, writes another book, sends it to me. And now I'm starting to get a complex, like, what the heck, dude? You can't write crap, because this woman is like prolific. And so that's how I got the title, I Have Something to Say, because she still has these stories and she still has so much of this stuff like tucked away inside. And so I wanted to encourage her and also deal with the story by kind of tying both of those together in the song and say, you know, I still have so much to say. Don't even try to get in my way. One of the first conversations we had, she said, Charlie, do you cuss? And I said, well, I've been known to drop a few here and there. I said, but I try to leave it out of my songs because I wanted to reach the widest audience. And she goes, but can you handle it if someone cusses? I said, yeah, sure. She said, because I cuss a lot. And I just fell in love with her in that moment. I was like, this is going to be great, because she's so raw and so honest with me. And that's what I need to kind of get a sense of who the person is and what they've been through in order to really capture their story. So that's where the song came from. And when I hear it, I'm proud of the work. I'm sorry, Kimber, that you had to walk through that. But I'm so honored that I got to kind of to tell your story this way. It's such a blessing.
That's absolutely the crazy part in all this. And it breaks my heart that Kimmer had to go through these pieces of her life, and you're apologizing for this at this moment. And I wish no one had to deal with any kind of trauma ever, which isn't realistic. It's not realistic, because we all are going to find a place, a stuff, a thing that gives us that moment. But how do we get to experience this moment of growth without people having to go through that piece? And again, I don't wish that on anybody. That's not a piece. But we don't get to be a champion of this moment without Kimmer going through that moment. And I'm sorry, sister, that you had to do that. But I also know how many lives you're affecting because of it. And we can get into the scripture and the biblical parts of this where they talk about God will not give you anything that you can't handle. And that's his promise to us. Right person, right time. I think it's the wrong place. I think it's the wrong part and gesture. But again, how do we champion this without you? And I just want to, Kimmer, you've had to go through the growth. You had to go with a piece of strength. You had to reach out to Charlie. You had to reach out to these pieces. You're an amazing human being, and thank you for who you are. And I'm sorry also as well for the things you've had to go through. But it's going to save and has saved someone's life. So I don't know if that's a good consolation. That's not a very good trophy. That's not a very good thing to say, oh, I get a champion that, but damn it. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you, Charlie.
Love you too. You know what, Kim? The song is what it is. It's your story, but you say, how do Mark, you were asking, how do you go through this without people having to do it? The most powerful moment is when you decided to get help at MST. That first step is, without that, none of this happens. I'm not sitting here chatting with you today. We don't have the song. I don't know your story. And it's, when I write songs, sometimes I work for clients and they're like, well, how do I get the message out there? And I'm like, for me, man, songwriting is a message in a bottle. You just write it, you stuff it in there, you cork it, and you throw it out in the ocean, and you let it find a shore. But if you hadn't taken the first big step and gotten involved with MST, none of this would have happened. And I think that's a huge first step. Like, seek an audience with somebody and get help. You never know where it'll go.
The craziness is we just watched the Olympics, and you're going to think there's a weird parallelism, but bear with me for a second. We've got people that are winning these gold, silver, and bronze trophies for doing and pretty much a worthless act of a special talent in the world, and your champion is bigger than any of that, in the fact that you had to conquer the demons to get past that. You had to conquer the grossness of our ugliest part of our lives and world. And again, like I said, you are the champion in this room, in this space at this time. And I can't tell you how frustrated and angry I am right now. And that people think that they can just cross the line because they've got an urge. And I'm minimizing what that is, that urge. Congratulations, D-bag. You fuck. Yeah, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I'm sorry. I can't feel the pieces that you feel, Kimmer, because I've never experienced that, and I've never put that on someone else to have to experience it. And you're sharing your most vulnerable pieces to the entire world. And Charlie gets to walk in and gets to put this amazing lyric together that shares a story of an absolute complete travesty to our society and to our uniform, to be honest with you, because these are not the bright and shiny heroes of our veterans and first responders. And I'm going to say you are. Thank you. And thank you for being that champion again. I got to get out my soapbox, but I'm worked up. Got some stuff. I got to get it out.
Well, through the VA, through Charlie, through you, Mark, Andrea, and Jonathan, I'm no longer no one.
Hell yeah, sister.
That's great.
Hell yeah, sister. Andrea, that's the title of our show. I'm no longer no one. So remember that every weekend when you're struggling to get on at 1800 Central Standard Time. Sister, we got you.
You do.
Woo! Charlie, I know this is hard to step in and then continue a different conversation. Unfortunately, it's the role of the show. What else do you work on? What else do you do?
Teach private lessons. I run the studio here. I'm a a husband of my wife Tracy of 24 years, and have 2 daughters. One is going to be a school teacher. She graduates in May.
Can we talk her out of doing that?
Well, my whole family's teachers, so no. And then my other daughter is she's finishing up her doctorate at OU for PT. So I think she's seen a knee replacement and a hip replacement, and what my wife has gone through with 2 knee replacements, and she's like, "Yeah, I want to cause people pain and get paid to do it." But that's in her wheelhouse. She's just really good at what she does. So.
That's exciting, but you do a lot. You do more music.
Yeah, voiceovers, Walmart training videos. I did a commercial for UC Health that my friends like. It just aired so many times. They were like, "Dude, get off my radio." You know, I think the thing I like to do the most is just take a song and just fix it, or create it. It's for me, writing is just, like I said, it's like therapy, but it's giving birth to something that didn't exist before you were done with it. And I just read a quote the other day from Sting, who is one of my favorite writers, and he said, "It's not about if no one hears your music or if the whole world hears your music. The reward is the music." And so I that just hit me a certain way, and I was like, "Yep, that's me. I just want to write it. I don't care if nobody hears it or recognizes it." Recently, maybe 2 years ago, that's recent, I wrote a song for my youth pastor and his wife, who were expecting and lost the baby 2 days before delivery. And I wrote the song. They named the child Judah. And so I wrote a song, and one of the lyrics was, "The Lion of Judah took you by the hand." And about a year later, I got a picture of his headstone, and my lyric was engraved in their headstone. And I get emotional talking about it, but you could talk about accolades and awards or Grammys, or, you know, you should be rich and famous, man. That, like, seeing that, it just gutted me, because I know, again, it was birthed out of a lot of their pain, but seeing something that I wrote have so much meaning in their life is just overwhelming. So that's what I do. And like I said, I'm a worship pastor at a local church here in Cincinnati, and I've been doing that for almost 20 years now.
You stand up there and play the guitar and get people.
I do.
Yeah, gosh. Yep. Is it live streamed? I want to check it out.
Yeah, not this month, but because we're in a series called Summer at the Movies, so we can't live stream all the movie clips. But my other ones are, and they're all up on my YouTube channel. Most of them are on my YouTube channel. But it's just one of those things I love to do. I think, as you know, when we go through our brokenness, that I think, you know, my faith in Christ is something that has sustained me. So I feel like when we create, we're closer to the Creator than ever. So whether we're writing a book or a TV program, my neighbors probably know I'm crazy, because I'm in the backyard with a tape measure, you know, trying to create the perfect backyard patio. I just love the process of creating.
Is there a smoker in that patio?
No, but there is a gas grill. Sorry. You're welcome to come and smoke some ribs over here if you want, though.
Oh,
bring the crew.
Holy cow. It sounds like it's something we got to get done now. Now it's an invite. We just got
to. It sounds like a trip. You know, I think I saw some.
Keep going, Andrew.
I saw some pictures of Charlie's studio on, I think it was on Facebook. Did you do something new recently, or just fixing it up a little?
I'm always doing something new. I'm always losing sleep. What you can't see over there is what I haven't gotten to yet. But it's just ergonomics is a big part of what I do in the studio. And when you're charging by the hour. You want to be able to work fast and get a sound and get it, onto tape. So I'm always rewiring something, or I'm finishing up a song called Sweet Forgiveness for a friend of mine who visited from Seattle, Washington. He wrote this song 15 years ago. He played it for me, and I just sat there like, wow, that's an anointed piece of music. I said, we should record that. And so we're almost done with that, and he's just blown away by what we've been able to create. But you're always, well, there's a joke: get your kids involved in music, or get your kids involved in like cars, like hot rodding, and they'll never have enough money to do drugs. And so it's kind of like if you had a car that you were fixing up, you're always tweaking something.
Or you buy a car that you always need to spend money on because it's just not a very good car. That's an option too. How much time is available in your weekly timeline? I need to ask that question.
Friday and Saturday are usually like the big studio days. If I have a client, I'm working, most of the day, Friday and Saturday. During the week, I teach sporadically Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So there's always after 7 in the evening, every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday night. And then the rest of that time is taken up with my students, or, in a staff meeting at church, or leading worship for my congregation.
I have a feeling you struggle with, probably not the word prioritize is not the right word I want to say, but I have a feeling you like to overschedule a little bit.
Well, when you work out of your own home, which is kind of new for me, you end up like the thing that you love to do and what you built ends up becoming, it can be somewhat of a trap, because there are days that I don't want to come down here because it feels like I'm working and I just want to have a day off. And so that's always a challenge. And being self-employed, I get a paycheck from the church, but then the rest of the income comes from, parents and other students. And so if you don't work, you don't get paid. So you kind of always try to work.
Well, and and I'm not trying to reference or to try to guilt you into anything, but there's some of those people that like to work that don't get paid. There's always that option too. So that's just, throw it out there. I don't know why I'm throwing it out there, but I'm throwing it out there. My brain has been going actually in a billion miles an hour since you've come on tonight, and I hear you got some more songs that we need to hear.
Yeah, I wrote one for my dad's retirement, and then again when he passed away, I rewrote it, and I did that at his funeral, and then released that the newer version, and that's called Hero. And then one I wrote called Courage to Change, and I wrote that for a vet in the MST program here in Cincinnati.
Jonathan, we got one of those to roll? And your microphone's off, just so you know. And now we can't hear you with your microphone on. So,
He's
yes.
ready to roll.
We'll figure it out. We'll put it up. We'll post the name of the song, and we got one rolling, and we'll roll.
Could drink at a football game. And when I was a child, I remember when you would stand out on the lawn in the midst of a hurricane. Even today, makes me proud to be your child. I thank the Lord for this Father I adore, and that I want you to know you'll always be my hero. When I was a child, I remember hearing you cheer for me from the sidelines for every yard I ran. And when I was a child, I remember hearing you call my name out loud from the side of my hospital bed. And even today, oh, you still have a way that makes me proud to be your child. And I thank the Lord for this Father I adore. Dad, I want you to know you'll always be my hero. Like all the model planes we bought, and all the times I broke your heart, somehow you found a way to put the pieces back in place. And now that you are gone, my love for you lives on. And all that I have learned from you, I pray I will pass on. Now a battlefield of change as the soldier fades away, leaving a lifetime of memories. But you're still the dad you'll always be. And even today, oh, you still have a way that makes me proud to be your child. And I thank the Lord for this Father I adore. And Dad, I want you to know you'll always be my
That's Charlie Hines with Hero. Charlie, I need to let you know how inferior I feel in life because of your amazing gift that you were able to tribute to your father, and hearing the story and the progression through life, and then the tribute to his service. I wish I could have done better in life. Thank you for that. I just now have to live a little bit of guilt. I I'm going to have to live with now. Thanks. I appreciate that. What is wrong with you, brother? My goodness. Nothing's wrong with you, for the record. Wow. I felt you have this calm, this peace about you, this calmness in talking about tribute to life. I mean, we heard it in Kimmer's song. We heard it to the song you tribute to your father. You know you're gifted and talented, right? You know this?
Thank you.
Wow. I had some moments there. I had some feels, smoke inhalation over here on this side. What are you working on right now?
Working on that song from my friend in Seattle, and working on a new record called Praying for Parachutes. And I have songs that are not church songs. And so I created a band called Legacy House to release the music that isn't for church, so that there's still a chance that music will find a different audience than just worship music.
Do you tour around with this band? Do you go out and play gigs and stuff?
Nope. Nope. We just write. They're all friends from previous worship teams that I've been on. The drummer in the band is my friend Mundo. He actually built the studio. He's a contractor. And so I just asked him, hey, would you want to be in a band in case we ever get asked to play live? So that's how we did it. And there's probably three songs that'll come out. Love Feels Lonely, Cincinnati to Nashville. And then we're going to redo the Zach Williams song. Dolly Parton song, There Was Jesus. And we'll just put that out as a 3-song EP and see where it goes.
Would you guys qualify yourself as a house band?
I don't qualify us as anything except a bunch of friends that would do anything for each other just to keep playing. So, yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if my team knows what I'm thinking, but just thinking.
As if we ever know what you're thinking. Are you serious?
Truth. You do, though. You know where I go with this stuff.
Yeah,
It's all about serving. It's all about taking care of others. It's all about the shock and awe. I gotta put that out there.
We would be honored to play at whatever event you're thinking about in your head.
Sorry, Charlie. I got some weird noises over here I like to throw out there every once in a while, and it just creeps in there sometimes. So, all right. Do we have another song to play tonight?
Yes, we do. Yes, sir.
What happened to your microphone, Jonathan?
You can't hear me still?
Well, I can now, but where were you before?
I was here. Apparently, my microphone wasn't. No, I don't know. It hadn't happened in a really long time. I just had to leave the studio and come back in.
It was time. It's time. You gotta do that stuff sometimes.
Probably because I needed to update my computer and I didn't want to do it before the podcast because it might take a while.
Well, we appreciate you paying attention to those details.
Does every single 8th grader every day. No, I don't want to update it. I lose
You're talking to an 8th grader in 3 months, so stop talking like you know what you're talking about.
Oh, funny.
Kimmer, you got a poem for us?
Oh, she's muted. What is the muting tonight? You got to do your microphone, hon.
There we go.
There it is.
I was muted, wasn't I? I thought you never asked there. I've got a couple of them. This is going to throw you way off the loop, Mark, because I wrote about a guy. I wrote about a man.
I know this one, don't I? Yes.
But, yeah, it's about a man. Something that I'd never be able to do before. But it's called by his side. I've been watching videos of a man in the woods. If I could find him to join him, I definitely would. He cooks his food over an open flame, sometimes catching wild game. It's just him and me alone. And he seems well. His locations I wish he would tell. Everything is in German except for when he speaks. I have hunger pains, and him I want to meet. His fires are hot and his knives are sharp. I love watching him cook. He does it from the heart. And when he eats, man, I wish I was there. Because he cooks plenty. He could share. The way he cooks, I want to learn. His food, well, he never burns. It looks delicious, and I can't lie. I would love to be there by his side. And can I follow it up with another one?
No, you only get one a night. That's it.
Yes.
This one's called Camelot. I just wrote a poem about being alone in the woods with a man. Yes, this is something that I would actually plan. It's not what you think. Him I would not hurt. We'd be sitting on logs in the grass and dirt. I believe I would be safe with him. Yes, I believe so. This is major on my part, and it would help me to grow. I know that this will never actually take place, but thinking about it, this is something I can embrace. I would love to find out how I would be after being in the woods, just him and me. I'm the writer. I can end this as I please. He is a good guy. He's not a sleaze. We ate great food, cooked over fire. The way he cooks, I really admire. We didn't talk much. We both like to be alone. And at times I like his company. This I will own. After we ate, at each other we would smile. Then we would kick back for a while. We would clean up without leaving a trace, but knowing that we both were satisfied by the looks on our face. Then we'd hike back to base camp. I would sleep through the night with no leg cramps. When I woke in the morning, he would be gone, but for me, he left the coffee on. A couple hours later, he would return with no worries or not even no concerns. We knew this would be our last night, so he brought champagne to tease my appetite. He cooked brisket, sides, and dessert. Man, he is seriously an open flame expert. As we dined, our spirits were low, because tomorrow morning I have to go. But we both were happy that we met, and it's a time that I'll never forget. No pictures, no address, not even his name, but fond memories of this man and his flame. I can never forget he lives on in videos. And yes, my friend, this is how my story goes. Will I ever go back? I think not. This was my one-time chance in Camelot.
Wow. Love it.
Hey,
Heck yes.
the way you frame that, it's like you better just
Paint a
shut up.
picture. We were there with you.
yeah.
Especially when she said brisket, I was starting to.
Well, like I
Belly was
fell in love
growling.
with this guy all of a sudden. I mean, I'm playing for the other team right now. I guess that's
You had me at
valid.
first.
But my goodness, it's
So unlike me, so unlike me.
unbelievable, Kimmer. What have you done? Have you reached out to this guy?
Because Andrea told me how to find him, I did. I got an auto reply saying that he was currently out in the woods.
Okay, fair enough.
Imagine that.
Well,
Imagine.
There's no internet out there. Cameras?
Yeah, there's internet everywhere. That's not. But,
We are gonna keep trying. Then we'll get him when he's around.
yeah, Andrea sent me a video, and I didn't realize because it was on the other account, but that it is what it is.
There's the connection. Yep.
Yeah, it all makes sense now. Way to go, way to go. You know, Kimmer, I'm a pretty good cook too. Just so
Yeah, that's what you keep telling me, but I don't know for let's meet out in the woods.
we got. I'm a married man, right? You know this.
And I'm a married woman.
You're just gonna cook in the woods,
We're
Peter.
just gonna do the meat, right? That's we got an amazing cook team down in Louisiana who likes to take first place trophies for the month.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
We'll keep kicking that thing around for sure.
Got a picture of that? We got a picture of that monstrosity?
Is that still in there?
And
Yeah, look, right there.
Look, team, kick it in the tail. WeP3 cook team. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, I gotta throw this out there.
That was
There we
it.
go. Get that out there.
That was the one.
Gotta have some more of those coming up. Let's
Charlie,
get
we
those.
don't have any fun in our group, so you're going to have to make some solid decisions here in the near future whether you want to hang out with us or not. So. I know you're a solid church man, and I know that Kimmer's a big swearer, so we'll have to work through some of those people. The other swearer in the room over there.
To your left.
No. Pretty wholesome.
If no one's again, sometimes this gets cut. Well, not sometimes. Andrea does an amazing job of cutting this a podcast every week, and you can hear us on every channel you can think of: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Reason Across America, the Apple Tunes, Snatterbox Chat, all of those. We're on all of them.
Oh my
so
goodness.
come check out We Got Your 6 at 6 Heroes Media Group. If you get a chance, we would love it. We would love it if you would go subscribe to our YouTube channel. If we're keeping you up, Andrea, let us know.
Yeah, you are kind of loud.
Yeah. We would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm so sorry. And again, if you don't like to have fun, get away from us. We don't, because that's not who we are. And then if you get also the chance on your weekly, and we're going to talk with Charlie a little bit about this in the future. And we got this radio station called WeP3 Radio that plays only veteran and first responder music. And so I know Charlie's got some stuff in the wheelhouse. Doesn't necessarily qualify, but he does, because he's part of the glue that held it all together. And we would love to feature the music that he performs on WeP3 Radio as well. And just the amazing stories he has. People need to hear it. I mean, they do need to hear it. So that's what we're doing. That's what we want to do. That's what our mission is. And we're going to continue moving forward because good people do good things. And that's what we do. I hear there's another song out there, but we could probably close with the other song. So we could probably do our closing piece tonight. We're at that space. We usually have never, even though we say it's an hour-long show, we've never done an hour-long show. I don't know. Have we ever done an hour-long show? No.
Like 4 years ago, we did one. Yeah.
4 years ago, we did one.
I don't think there were any guests. Yeah,
we're holding Charlie captive, and we get to do that. And again, our closing comment segment is: what is your takeaway from this evening. And then we also throw in a couple calls to action. People need to get involved. People need to start doing stuff. Remember, if you're sitting there not doing anything, you're part of the problem. There's our truth. We've had amazing people come in and comment tonight. We got Team Amanda. Amazing Amanda's there out there doing their thing and coming and being part of the show. Thank you. We got Kenzer out there. Richard Fleek. No offense, Mr. Fleek, Commander Fleek. Don't you got a show that you like to do during this time? I don't
He's
know.
already there. He's already there. I already checked.
Fair
I think
enough.
he stepped in and said, hey, and then he was gone.
Oh, that's how those guys do it.
Yeah.
And I never know how to say Amanda's last name, Lavera. I'm going to go with that. Thank you for being here. And our other amazing friend from Tennessee, Amanda Brown. Thank you for being here, dear, and your mission and all those. And again, we're in the process of conglomerating conversations, making things bigger, better, badder, and take care of some business, our brothers and sisters that need us. Jonathan. Oh, now I got the finger. Nice. You don't see that on the podcast.
Neighbor's kid was trying to get in my door, and the doorknob was kind of stuck a little bit.
Oh, boy. That's a different
What's
story.
that, brother?
Two things. It strikes me as we often say about the music is, I'll call it the miracle of music, right? Artists write these songs. Sometimes it's about their own life story or whatever, and then they go out and they play music, and people in the audience hear it and they relate. And so the artist writes the song as a means of recovery or healing for themselves, and then it goes full circle and becomes healing for somebody else. You're literally writing someone else's story as a means of healing for yourself and them and everyone else that's going through the same situations. Anyways, I just thought that was a slight but unique perspective on writing music that I wanted to point out. But my takeaway from the show is and I kind of wrote it down because I forget everything, but talking through at the beginning of this with going through Miss Kimmer's story and everything else, and I've been here myself. So sometimes the worst place that we can be is inside of our own heads, and having the strength to conquer that part of yourself and not really defeat it, because I think it's an ongoing battle, but we just have to put the armor in place to know when to turn and go in the different direction and navigate around certain things. But having the strength to conquer that part of yourself and become the author of your own story, that's often the toughest battle that we'll ever face in life. But learning that we need help, then having the strength to reach out and the wisdom to understand that we can't always be the person that helps us in our own story, even though we always want to be, right? We never want to reach out, but knowing that you're at that space in life where you just need somebody else, and having the wisdom to reach out and put personal pride aside, I think that right there is the beginning of winning all your battles.
Again, when someone gets to walk around with this, and there's no gold medal, there's no bronze, there's no silver medal, but this champion award of success in life. I mean, I hope you feel that, Kimmer. And I'm talking out of turn here because it's not my turn to talk, but it's back to I'm no longer no one. Hogwash. Well, go ahead, Kimmer. Share your final thoughts.
Tonight was home. I returned home to the show. I returned home with Charlie. My song, I've returned home to myself. Please reach out for help, but be careful who you reach out to. There are still bad guys out there, and they will take advantage of you. So always check out who you're talking to. God, it's great to be back home. Thank you.
Duh. Charlie, give us your thoughts, brother.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for what you're doing now and what you all have done in former lives. But my takeaway is that if you were to just watch the news or talk to friends, you would think that there's no hope, and it's people like you that remind everyone that there's a place to go. There's people to talk to. There's people that will lift you up and carry you if you need to be carried. It's just a feeling that I could be doing more. So thank you.
Oh my goodness. You could be doing more, but I think you're doing enough, brother. But there are others that could do more. We'll put it that way. We'll just go there. Andrea.
Yeah. Listen up. I'm gonna put a link in our little communication right now. This is the WeP3 buzz. I know as soon as I put this out there and more people show up, then we get some ick in there, but we're working on keeping that out. But it's been busy in there. The WeP3 buzz. Oops, I forgot to put the link. Oh, good grief. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it didn't give me the link. Check out the WeP3 buzz in Facebook Messenger, but it's kind of come alive again with all kinds of good messages, and we got Colonel Michael Burrows in there sharing the groups every single day and sometimes more than once a day. So I want to thank you, Mike, for doing that. And I was just thinking about, healing and therapy through music, and a story popped in my head. And as I was writing down some notes about what music can do for you, and when I was in, I don't know, and this is going to be a teacher and a coach thing. I don't mean to say bad things, but sometimes you wonder why they tell you things, right? And, we used to get a little AC/DC and probably some Thunderstruck, I don't know, pre-game warm-up, right? It's just got that beat and you're just getting into it and you're getting all, I want to call it like it's the good anxiety and anxiousness, right? Like I'm going to go out on that, I'm going to score 1 million baskets tonight. And then they would tell us it was using up too much energy. We needed to calm down a little bit. And I've always wondered since I was 15 what they meant and if that was real. And I don't know if it is because I've done a lot of research on music and its healing properties. And I was just looking at all these things. The definition of music therapy is helping people meet their physical, emotional, cognitive, and social needs through listening to, writing, creating, and enjoying music. It can help lift your mood. It increases your joy. It can help alleviate anxiety and depression thoughts. Helps you manage stress and improve communication. That's a lot of weight on what music can do. Sometimes it happens and you don't know it. And sometimes you're not listening to the right music, right? And so if it's not a fitting music for you or for your situation, probably not a great choice. Try some other music. But I want to thank you, Charlie, for coming on and sharing. I'm in awe. We talk to a lot of songwriters, and I am in awe right now at the things that you've done and the music you've written and just what you've put together, even with other people's words and your own. I'm super impressed right now. Now I feel like I didn't listen to enough of your music before we came on. I need to go back to your website and see what I can find. And Facebook, I'm going to creep to a little bit. So thank you so much for jumping on here tonight and sharing and what you produced for Kimmer and for being there for Kim. It's amazing. It's very, very amazing. And I can't say enough. And that's before I go watch The Man in the Woods, who doesn't speak German, but it's fun trying to figure out where he is, right? That's a crazy show. Next week, you guys, this is going to be another cool connection right here. We are going to have Lauren Iozio. She's been sponsoring us with her boho hobo hideaway. And then someone new to me, and it'll be very interesting. You cannot judge a book by its cover. We have a musician by the name of Hockett, and that's with 2 T's. He'll be coming on and sharing his music. He's a veteran as well. I will tell you it wasn't what I expected, and then I'll let you kind of, when you see what he's up to, and after we listen to his story, it's a pleasant surprise, at least from what I thought we were going to be hearing. I mean, all music is good, but he plays something completely different than what I expected. So I'm super excited to share that next week. I guess, and make sure you watch for us tomorrow at 4:30 Central Time. If you missed last week's episode and you can stay up until 11 p.m. Eastern Time, please stay up and watch last week's episode on WeP3.
For the record, sister.
It's 11 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, I thought you said 1.
Oh, 11 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
Isn't that Eastern time though?
Eastern Time, yeah.
Okay.
So that's 10 o'clock Central Time, right? If you're still up. Which one are you in, Charlie? You're on
I'm
Eastern?
East Coast. Yeah, I'm Cincinnati's Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's on Reads Across America Radio tonight. And then tomorrow night we'll be live at 4:30 p.m. With our debrief, where we're probably going to talk about Charlie and Kimmer just a little bit more. And then we'll share what we've been working on ourselves. Remember, we are a nonprofit. We run as a nonprofit. We don't pick sides in politics. But matters of the heart, we are here. So thank you very much. And that's it. That's all I've got.
You're a rock star. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, the guy with the name Hockett, I mean, in our cultural world right now, that does throw you to the side a little bit. So
just one name. Yeah, it makes you go, oh.
I might have to joke with him a little bit, Hockett and Hakka and all those pieces out there right now. It's just like,
that's 2 words for the record. Just
I get it, but it's too close. So inspired stuff, and even Andrea threw me in a little brain space, and I got to play football at all levels, every single level. And there was actually times where, they told me they relieved me from pregame because the intensity of the levels I played at, they didn't want our team members hurt, and B, so much would be exuded during that time. But I'm feeling this warm-up piece with the amazing people in our network and what's happening. And you know what? We're blessed. We're blessed by the people that come into our space. And again, it's weird. I'm being led. Righteousness will always prevail, and that's the truth. There's our truth. Where does that fit in the world of supporting veterans and first responders? The light, the beacon, the green, it unveils everything that's in the darkness, brothers and sisters. That's the truth. Support, help, we do. We are blessed by Charlie Hines and his amazing craft. We are blessed by Kim Gwinner and her amazing story of winning and being a champion. I'm telling you right now, the WeP3 team is stronger than it has ever been before. And I can tell you, Jonathan and Andrea are leading the charge in my absence. And you guys probably don't even know that there's a gigantic void in WeP3 because we don't let you see that. But Jonathan and Andrea have been running the show for about 2 months. just because I've got to take care of some stuff on the side. Thank you, Jonathan, Andrea. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your strength and just your driven passion to make sure what we're doing is making a difference. Um, we have several calls to action. One is if you're not part of the mission of doing something, you're part of the problem. So the question is, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you're doing nothing, it's part of the problem. Regardless of what your ideology is, regardless of what you believe in, regardless of all those pieces, if you're doing nothing, you are holding all of us back. So find something, engage, be part of it, put yourself in it. We do believe that to serve is therapeutic. It makes me feel good. That's why we do what we do. We selfishly come here every week. We selfishly work every week. We've got asks that are in our pieces. We've got asks that are in our network, and we've been reaching out and making sure people understand that we don't get it done without you. Thank you, Veteran Vapor, and we've been following you, watching you, and we appreciate you. And let's continue a conversation. That's what I want to do. Let's make things bigger and better. The other part of our call to action is some people do push-ups. Hey, if you want to go do push-ups and it's 22 a day, get her done. We got some people that ridicule that. We say, hogwash, quit ridiculing things. Show us what you're doing. If it's bigger, better. Uh, get her done, man. Let her buck. We got some people that ruck march 22 miles a day, and if that's your thing, go do it. It's not my thing. I don't want to walk. We do a thing called 0K in our world, and we love it, and we'll continue to love it. And what we all have is a device in our presence. I guarantee you. Some of us are listening to it right now as we speak. Some of us are have been on the screen watching, and you've been texting your peeps and doing all that. First of all, if you're texting your peeps, share with them the People's Patriot Project and what we're doing and taking care of veterans and first responders. But right now, I want you to create a text thread to someone in your contact list and say, I was just thinking about you. I want you to put that in your text thread, in your contact list. And I want you to hold down on that text thread, and I want you to copy it because you're going to send it to someone in your contact list. And then you're going to find 6 other people or 5 other people because we do it by 6-pack. You're going to do it to 5 other people and say, I was just thinking about you. And sorry, not sorry. If it creates a conversation, great. That's why we're doing it. If it is ignored, reach out again if you got time. I will also challenge you with one more piece. All of us have that conversation or that relationship that ended up sideways somehow. And you know in your heart it's been a struggle for you. Now's your time. Brother, sister, I was thinking about you. Now, we jokingly say every week, and so when this becomes absolutely that conversation where it ends up being cliche, well, I'll stop saying the joke. It doesn't have to be an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or stalker. I mean, none of those. But all of us have a relationship in our lives where it left in sour milk or it left in the bed. Reach out. And I say that because I have some regrets in my life, in that I had a brother lose his battles to the demons of alcoholism because I got butt hurt on a conversation and I never reached back out. That's me. That's on me. I get to hold that. I get to carry that. We need to stop the nonsense. All of us have someone out there. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. But I guarantee you, reaching out to your brothers and sisters will make a difference. And we have seen on many occasions a resurrection of relationship, a resurrection, and we all want to feel belong. And because when we feel belong, maybe we ain't going to start making silly decisions that are a lifelong decision for a temporary moment. And that changes that number 22 for part of our network, 17 to 75 for another part of our network. It changes the number, and we win the battle. We love what we get to do. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Charlie Hines, for being on there tonight. Don't go anywhere unless you have to and eat some more spaghetti with your wife. We totally get that piece. We've got some post-show conversations we had. We got one more little song. Not that I want to minimize it by saying the word little, because I guarantee it's a hit. We got one more song. Charlie, can you outtake us on this?
Yeah, this was written for a lady that is in the MST program here, and basically the tagline of this was she was really going through a lot. She didn't know where to turn, and she saw a message board on a wall in one of the VAs, and it said "Courage to Change," and she peeled off the tag and called the number, and that started her process. So again, she just swallowed her pride and sought help, and that line became the title of this song.
We appreciate you. We'll see you. I can't remember a new tagline, and I just blew it, and I hate that. We'll catch you when the smoke clears. Patriot Pride.
Drunken words of a broken man turn to broken bones and tattered skin. Every weekend it began again. I felt condemned, I'd been abused, but to him those were the rules. I was just a woman, I was barely human. I breathed in these lies, and I lived out their truth. Happiness I could not choose. But I won't be hate's victim, I won't be its slave. Healing gets closer every step, every day. I search for freedom through forgiveness and grace. I share my truth and I give God the praise, 'cause I found the courage to change. A child, they needed more than my mistakes could afford. A future I could see, being all I could be. The comfort drugs I turned away, a glimpse of hope to light my way. I first saw strength in a woman and a lies, and I lived out their truth. Happiness I could not choose. Oh, I won't be hate's victim. I won't be its slave. Healing gets closer every step, every day. Now I search for freedom through forgiveness and grace. And I share my truth, and I give God the praise. 'Cause I found the courage, violated again on my way to be sworn in. This weight on my chest, and these demons never rest. I surrender my career and choose victory over fear. Now there's hope in my heart, joy in my tears. I won't be hate's victim. I won't be its slave. Healing gets closer every step, every day. I search for freedom through forgiveness and grace. I share my truth and give God the praise. I won't be hate's victim. No, I won't be its slave. Healing gets closer every step, every day. Now I search for freedom through forgiveness and grace. And I share my truth and give God the praise. 'Cause I found, oh, I found, oh, I found the courage to change.